Today we're just going to be going through just a little bit of discovery. So let's jump right in. All right, so today disruption is everywhere. There's the economy, there's politicians, and there's war. These things are all kind of spinning each other out into a crazy chaos, and at the same time, you just don't know what your competitors are doing and what's coming next. What advantages do they have? You always have to kind of be grasping to secure those advantages that you can. So to protect against this disruption, I'm going to make a case here today that you can increase revenue at the same time, and that the GSA schedule program is an answer, a solution to this problem. I'm a business owner myself, and I'm going to be honest, I've lost some sleep over the current situation here in early to mid 2022. So the question is, what could you do with a steady stream of government opportunities? So the way this happens is when you become a GSA contractor, you get agency leads, all government agencies. We're talking DOD, Department of Education, Commerce, Transportation, any and all of them. Plus some state and local governments as well come into the program. But these leads come in through a system called GSA eBuy. This is for services, and of course for products, there's another system called GSA Advantage. Now what this does is these are exclusive opportunities just for GSA contractors. You go through this process to get into the program. You have access to these opportunities and others don't. So what it does is it's a very small pool of competition. And then it also reduces the red tape that's involved in the contracting process on both your side and from the buyer side. So it's really a win-win for buyers, and that's why government agencies come to the GSA program. GSA program has, over the past 5 years, had an average increase of 3.4% per year. So may not seem like much, but what's that come to? About 17% over the course of the past 5 years. So that's growth. As the economy does worse, the GSA and government spending tends to go up just as a result of trying to keep the economy afloat. And at the same token, where the commercial buyers are starting to dry up, the government buyers are starting to pursue more. Now here are a couple kind of anecdotal cases where these are actual customers of ours, and these are success stories. So you'll see, you could kind of go through here. Global Infotech went from 0 to about $500,000 in 4 years. These are just their GSA sales. Pacific Point went from low sales of 75K up to over $1 million in 5 years as well. There, DVS went from 0 to 22.4 million in 4 years. That's a pretty steep ramp right there. They did quite well. Pacific Maritime, 3 years, they went from 13,000 up to 1.4 million. McWaters went from 2,000 up to 600,000 about. Napa went from 0 to 238K right in 1 year, hey, I would take that. Captivate went from 0 to about $250,000 all the way up to about $750,000 in 3 years. So that's some really good progress there. And then Cask is also another big case where over the course of 5 years they went from 0 to 14 million. So these are cases of companies that got into the GSA program and did really, really well. Not all do, but they were able to leverage this contract and take those opportunities and win them. And obviously some of them have brought in some very, very big contracts as a result. So now the time that a lot of people say that time is the most valuable resource. It's not. Your attention is. So only focusing on the things that will take you the direction you want to go is really the key to success, to the chance to seize opportunities. And we all only have 24 hours in a day. The same companies that are having 0 sales in GSA have the same 24 hours in a day that DVS did, that Cask did. But Cask and DVS, they were able to take the opportunities that came in from GSA and capitalize on them to win those contracts. So A little bit about how we help in this process. Where does GSA Focus get involved here? Since 2006, we've helped hundreds of small businesses get into the GSA program, grow their federal sales as a result. Our success rate is 98%. And in the cases of those 2%, they got a refund. We just put our money where our mouth is, and we don't feel like our fees are very high. In fact, we try to stay very reasonable, being that we work with small businesses almost exclusively. So it may not seem like we're giving a refund back is that much money coming back, but at the same time, it does show that, hey, we're committed to the success of our customers, and if we fail, we don't think we ought to get paid. And then the other thing we not I don't like bragging a whole lot. It's kind of I guess a flaw. I tend to go the other way, but I can honestly say over the past couple of years, what we've built is pretty amazing. What we're able to deliver customers, not just on getting you into the program, but also just this level of service along the way. The constant communication, improving the process, adapting to the GSA, which is always changing. They're always finding new reasons to reject, and we're always having to find reasons or solutions to avoid those rejections for our customers. So we're always learning and adapting as well. So what we do is we work to get you into the program as swiftly as possible and as easily as possible. We take on anything and everything we can for you and really remove the barrier to entry. Now, a little bit of a transition here to kind of what I would call the initial steps of getting a contract. Really, there's two of them, and this is the first one, the triangle of eligibility, I call it. First and foremost, you've got to be in business for 2 years. This is verified by financials, and just so you know, there is a program called Startup Springboard where if you're in the IT space, there's a kind of a side door around this rule. Next up is past performance. So you have to provide the GSA documentation. So the categories that you're going after, the GSA has 12 industry-based categories. You have to have done services within one of those categories or several. And there is a documentation burden as well, invoices, statements of work, contracts that need to be provided to the GSA. The third one here is the scope match. So the GSA takes, they have product companies, they have service companies, any and all. But what you do has to fit into one of those 12 categories, and those 12 categories break down into hundreds and hundreds of subcategories called SINs. So most companies are not going to have a problem with scope match, but it is definitely an important requirement. Honorable mention here that it's important that you know that products and services must be from a TAA compliant country, Trade Agreement Act. So long story short, U.S. has to have a trade agreement with a country if you're securing products and wanting to sell those on a GSA contract. So this covers eligibility, and I said that's the first one. The second one is just going over is this a good move for your company? They maybe call it the ROI section, call it the exploration, whatever you want. It just comes down to, is this good for you? So I'm going to go over some of the good stuff and the bad stuff about GSA contracts to help you make the right decision for you. So let's start with the bad. Here's the bad news. 44% of contractors don't meet the minimum sales requirement. You have to sell $25,000 in the first 2 years and then $25,000 every year after that. So there's a little bit of a longer runway there initially. But this requirement will get your contract canceled if you're not meeting it. 36% of those have no GSA sales at all. So 36% of all GSA contractors, about 1 in 3, don't have any sales. So you can't expect the agencies to start beating down your door if you get a GSA contract. You still have to pursue them. What I've found is my customers that do face cancellation, when I ask them the big question, well, have you been bidding? Have you been pursuing, pounding the pavement at all? The answer is almost always no. And what I found is the companies that do pound the pavement, even in a small way, they do pursue opportunities. They can do pretty well, and they kind of start to hit those average numbers, which that's what we're going to go into in a minute. Here's a little bit of the GSA program overall. So 2019, $33.2 billion went through the GSA program. Then it bumped up to 36.7, which was about a 9.5% increase. And then in 2021, last year, 39.1. So we're seeing a nice slope upward, 6.1% increase. And it's showing to be another year in 2022 of a nice bump as well, probably very likely into the 40s. And let's get this going here. All right, so these are the 12 large categories. Right under each one, you're going to see a number, and that's the average contractor sales in millions. I said before, if you get a GSA contract and put a good amount of effort into pursuing opportunities through this channel, you can land right in the middle, right in the average space. You know, I'm not going to say it's easy, but I definitely wouldn't say it's hard. IT, about 4 million on average for the contractor. So basically, you take the total sales that went through that category and you divide it by the number of contractors. That's how you get this average. Professional services, about 2.2 million per contractor. Facilities, little under 1 million. Security, little over 1 million. Industrial, furniture. You could kind of get an idea. I'm sure if you're watching this, your eyes have already kind of run through and found the right category for you, and you've kind of seen. So it ranges from about 440,000 in office management on average, all the way up to the highest, which is travel, 7.75 million per contractor. All right, so that's it. That's all we've got. Keeping it really basic. Questions? Drop them in the comments. One thing we do, we gave you some very general information there on sales statistics with GSA, but we always like to go the extra mile and go a little bit further and customize stuff. So reach out, and you can email me at josh@gsafocus.com. You can email Daryl, our sales manager, droots, DROOTS at gsafocus.com, and we will be happy to walk you through kind of a screen share, track down some of your competitors, pull up their sales numbers, and kind of see what kind of market share you could potentially take over. And then, of course, there's a little bit about us. We're not fly by night. We've been around for 16 years, nearly 500 customers. 99% of them are small business, A+ rating, BBB, 4.2 stars on Google, and that's going up every day. We do what we do really well, and we also aren't about pressure selling. We're about educating. So we try to make sure everybody makes a really good decision, and that for that reason, most of our customers do really well. And some companies we don't turn them away, but we do tell them, this isn't the right time for you, but take a couple of these steps, and we'll get you to where you need to go. But that's it. Kind of taking you through this discovery. Hope it helped. Leave us comments, subscribe. We're here to help, and we put out great resources every week. So thank you so much.